Fly Pod.
Welcome to episode 68 of the Fly Route Podcast. I am your host, Anthony, aka Tony Playboy, aka Shaq's Free Throw Form, and I am joined here by a special guest. You already know what it is, Marquise. You got any AKAs for yourself?
AKA Mr. Make You Cry playing Madden. That's really it.
You've been on the Madden tip a lot lately.
Boy, making embarrassing people.
All right, housekeeping stuff. First and foremost, we only got about 2 episodes left until the end of the first season. We'll call this the Fly Route Podcast, and then we are going to take some time to reorient the direction we're going to take and join you again as the football season takes back up. Now, we got an exciting show for you today. We are going to get into the tee off, spilling some tea on some recent reports that James Harden is not happy with the Brooklyn Nets. We are going to give you the run pass option where we give you all the hottest sports news in the week and let you know whether we want to run with them or pass on them. Going to give you the fly route for the conference finals and talk about our divisional picks last week. And we are also going to rank the opening head coaching positions and give a big ballers bouquet to TJ Watt.
The Fly Route Pod. The Fly Route Pod. The Fly Route Pod. The Fly Route Pod.
All right, welcome to the tee off.
Ooh, spill that tea, sis.
This is how I like to start the show off. I like to spill some tea on our favorite athletes and some of the crazy situations they get themselves into. We got to talk about James Harden today because a recent report from Bleacher Report popped up saying Harden had a long list of complaints about being on the Brooklyn Nets. You know, they say he did not enjoy living in Brooklyn. He didn't like the climate, the state taxes, the fact that Kyrie was not going to be a full-time player. They even went like saying he hated like Steve Nash's end of the game lineups, right? And that leads everybody to say this. Do you think James Harden is not long for Brooklyn?
Oh, he's out of there, bro. He's out of there. I think if Kyrie was vaccinated and it wasn't an issue, and yeah, that's his personal opinion or his personal preference to be vaccinated or not. But in a team dynamic, bro, a team that isn't deep, doesn't have a deep roster, and they're really superstar dependent. You saw what happened with Kevin Durant. He got injured because you just had him out there after he just tore his Achilles and he's playing insane minutes. Now James Harden is playing insane minutes and only getting road help. I just feel like it's just he was the one that took the hit on his play style to change his style. Because in all reality, he was the only one that could change his play style to help even more. He changed it, and now he's seeing like, okay, well, I changed it and made a sacrifice for the team. Kyrie can't make this sacrifice. And for whatever reasons, he can't. But as a teammate, if I was James Harden, oh my God, me and Kyrie be fighting in the locker room.
Yo, and actually, like Shaq said something very similar to this. Actually, on many accounts, like he would fight Kyrie if they were teammates, all that
Oh,
stuff.
yes.
But like, sacrifice is important. Like James Harden used to be like Mr. Dribble out the shot clock, take the step back three. Became like let me lead the league in assists. Which, by the way, James Harden is leading the league in assists once again this season.
I went from scoring 30 plus, and now I'm leading the league in assists to help, and you can't get vaccinated? Oh, say less.
Dropping down to like 22 points a game.
Oh.
And I don't even think he wants to I think he's come to terms with Kyrie's decision, right? And he's like, that just don't even matter. That's where he wants to be, fine. But this means that Brooklyn is not the best place for me to win a championship. If one of our top 3 players in a salary cap situation can only play road games, and now home court advantage is now a disadvantage in the playoffs. Like, this is not the best place to win a championship. And like, he had those press conferences where he was like, yo, I can't wait to get Kyrie back here full time. Kyrie has a big game. He goes, yo, that shows why it's so important for him to be with us full time. And Kyrie is like, bro, what you talking about?
Bro, imagine like we did this together full time, right? And I showed up once a month and you did 3 episodes by yourself. You'd be like, what is the point of having you? Like, what? Really, bro?
Yeah. And then also, but then like you take it up, like let's call it a fifth of the total budget if we had a budget too. By the way, like that's the big important part. Like this is like the same thing when people are like, yo, Daryl Morey, you're wasting Joel Embiid's prime because you have a big hole in your roster that can't play. So like the interesting thing about this for James, and like I get this, it's like he don't got the same legacy right now as Kyrie and KD. Like Kyrie's legacy is cemented. He won that chip with Bron and he hit the shot. Like the iconic shot of that playoff series was Kyrie to win that championship.
Yeah.
Right? KD got two finals MVPs already. So then that makes you think, like, how long is he gonna wait? Like the report was not like James is gonna leave this year and try to get traded this year, but it's important to talk about how James has a player option for next season. He could decline that and just go into free agency, right?
He's gonna be a free agent. He
You
wants to.
think he's gonna be a free agent?
He never been a free agent. He got traded to OKC or from OKC to Houston, then traded again, and maybe he's gotten paid, but maybe he wants to get that one big bag.
Well, he gets the big bag no matter what.
Yeah, but maybe
he got the big bag from Houston. I think he wants to have
be
options.
Somewhere. Yeah, be somewhere and be like, okay, well, all right, I can go play here, or maybe like, hey, Kawhi and George need a point guard. Oh, well, let me just go there.
Now, okay. That's a thing. And like people were saying that like the Sixers are obvious thing. And like, look, Jalen Rose has actually said this shit like 4 months ago, saying that like you should look out for this. Like this is the thing. And like now it's like picking up a lot of steam. And I was like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. Like the Daryl Morey connection, the fact that they need somewhere to offload Ben Simmons, and the fact that Harden can technically put the Nets in a this is the deal or you get nothing back for me.
If I'm
similar to the way KD got D'Angelo Russell to the Warriors.
If I'm the Nets, right? We do the deal and I swap you for I give you Joel, or I give you not Joel. It's crazy. I give you Ben. If I'm the Nets, I want Tobias Harris too.
No, they say no. And if they say no, James Harden just walks. Like this is what I'm talking about. Like you are in a bind with the player when they have a player option like that. Like James Harden is doing you a favor with the signing trade. The same way, like, why did Golden State take D'Angelo Russell? Right? And everybody was like, why would they take that? That don't fit, et cetera, et cetera. And it did not fit, but it became the future leverage piece for Andrew Wiggins, right? You take Ben Simmons because if you don't take this situation, he just goes there by himself. You know what I mean?
With that roster intact that Philly has.
Yeah, exactly. Because he can just be a free agent. So he's just like, the signing trade is me helping you get a talent in return, or I could just leave and you get nothing.
I mean, I saw something where the Nets were trying to, or not the Nets, Philly's trying to trade Ben and Tobias. They're possibly
the salaries wouldn't match though.
Yeah, so maybe if I'm the Nets, maybe if I can find a way to offset it, or maybe all right, I don't get.
They can't with Kyrie and KD.
Say I don't get Harris, but hey, give me Maxey and another.
No, they just say no, and James Harden says no. What do you like? Why would James Harden say yes? Let's give you more shit that takes away from my championship roster. We really just need to literally clear Ben Simmons' cap space from Philly so I can be there.
If I'm the Nets, I can't do it, bro. I can't.
Like, then James Harden just leaves in free agency.
Then he just leaves because I can't.
Then how do you replace that talent?
Because what if Ben doesn't want to play in Brooklyn, bro? What if you hit the issue?
Ben said he wants to play anywhere that is not Philadelphia. Like Ben Simmons has been very clear. He's like, if it's not Philly, I'm game. Please get me out of here.
I mean, he would probably work. He'd probably work with KD and Kyrie. I think
he works probably better. Like they don't like what he needs
defense.
scores. Yeah, we don't need scores.
You don't. But I mean, the issue that the Nets do, they would still have, which something they're gonna have to figure out how to address, is not having a bench, like not having a competent bench, so Kevin can get a break.
But like every team that wants to do we have 3 superstars has that same problem. Like either you choose to not be a super team, or you choose to have depth. Like Milwaukee's not a super team. They have 1 superstar and 2 guys in the tier below that are a little bit cheaper. And like some people might even say Drew Holiday is even 1 more tier down if you want to. But like The Lakers, cap issues. They got 3 stars. The Clippers are near cap issues with only 2 of them, right? Like, you don't get 3 superstars and get depth. So James Harden did a press conference and they asked him about these reports. And he actually kind of gave these people to work. He was just like, what reports? From who? Who said this? And he's like, so if y'all ain't hear from me, then I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know about no reports. And then eventually they kept pressing and asking more specific questions. Like, basically, eventually they were like, oh, so if we ask you questions about the Nets and how you feel, but not about the reports, you'll answer them. And he was like, I don't know about any reports. Of course, I'm frustrated because we're not healthy. There's a lot of inconsistencies for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Whatever reason, injuries, COVID, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, it's frustrating. I think everyone in this organization is frustrated because we're better than our record is and we should be on the way up. That's all it is. I don't know anything about no reports. If you didn't hear it from me, I don't talk to nobody. So I'm frustrated because I want to win and I'm a competitor. It's pretty simple.
That's fair.
Now that makes me feel like all the extra shit in the like reports about like Steve Nash's closing lineups,
Might be
it
a
being
lie.
cold, yeah, like the
Nah,
the state taxes.
that him being cold might be a real thing, bro. Houston, hey,
But like that's not the reason why he wants to
yeah,
leave. You know
that
what I
ain't
mean?
yeah.
But like he might be like all that extra shit's not true. But I am frustrated because I don't think we can win the championship.
It'd be tough, man. You gotta see what KD looks like coming off this injury again.
I mean, he gonna play through the season though. Like, what do you do if y'all don't win the chip this season in UK and you Harden? Do you play through your last year of your contract? Do
No, you
you
take the player.
take the player option? Okay, then
No, that's not a question. I'm saying if the Nets can work out something in their way to maybe get a good swap with Ben or maybe some pieces or something, because either way, James can take that player option in Philly. He can get traded and be like, you know what, I'm still take my player option. You can trade for me, but I still want to test the water. So that's what I was getting at. If I'm the Nets, I'm like, well, regardless, we're gonna try to unload him if he wants to leave. And if Philly is dumb enough to send us a pick and another player with Ben, then that works because then you can keep that player and pick, then offload Ben to somebody else and get even more in return. Because I don't think you necessarily need 3, but you definitely need a competent 2. And I feel like KD and Kyrie are a competent 2. But if you can't,
KD and part-time Kyrie.
oh my God. And that's the other thing. I would probably trade him before I trade fucking Harden. Because there's no way I'm going to keep dealing with part-time. Oh
The
my
difference is Harden has all the leverage. Like Harden has
God.
all the leverage.
He
Unless
does.
they try to trade him before this season is over, Harden has like all the chips are in Harden's hands.
It's crazy when you think about it. It's just
I love when players get in that situation.
I
love
love it for the player. It's he can do whatever he wants. Nobody can really control what he wants to do. So I think it's great for him. It does put the Nets in a bit of a bind, but if you can work something out with Philly, do it like we're saying. Get Ben. Ben's a better person to have with the 2 people you already have. You still have the issue of you need a wing that can score to help Kevin. So that's the other ultimate problem in this. You need another dude that can go in there and give Kevin a break. He doesn't have to be electric, but please just be able to be a 2-way player and get like 10 points.
Get like 10? That
Yeah.
Ben Simmons could get you 10 in the regular season.
Yeah, I'm somebody that ain't scared to shoot the ball that will get you 10. Like Ben can do whatever he wants, but we need someone. They Nets need someone that can score and just rebound, play D.
And that was your tee off.
Ooh, spill that tea, sis. Spill that tea, sis.
Let's get into the run pass option. We're going to talk about the hottest sports storylines of the week and let you know whether or not we are going to run with them or pass on them. We got to start with some business out of New Orleans. Sean Payton says he is stepping away from the New Orleans Saints. There's a lot of talk about the Cowboys. Fine, whatever. But is this the end of the New Orleans Saints being competitive? Run or pass?
But we gotta run with it. I don't care about the Sean Payton aspect of whatever with the Cowboys. Cowboys are hot garbage. I don't think he's gonna fix that. Anyway, to keep it going with the Saints, they're fucked. They're so fucked. Like I saw some shit that they're 70 mil over the cap. Like, what? I don't even know what you do, but it looks like a team needs Marshawn Lattimore and Mike Thomas and Cameron Jordan and the offensive line they have. It looks like you selling pieces, bro, and you about to be the Aints for at least 3 years.
And who's gonna come in there and try to rebuild that?
I think the thing is, someone will come rebuild it, but it's going to be a total gut job. You're 70 mil over.
Okay.
Essentially, they have a top center. They're going to keep their center. Their left tackle, Armstead, the older dude, he's leaving. He's 30. Their I want to say it's their left guard is under contract too. They just paid him. It's the left or right guard, so you keep him too. But Mike Thomas already doesn't want to be there. Boom. You know you can't give Alvin Kamara a heavy workload, so I'd trade him too. He somehow stays more healthier than Christian McCaffrey, but by like a thin line. And I love him. I think he's great.
It's not that. It's a wide line, bro. Alvin Kamara will miss like 4 to 5 games a season. Christian McCaffrey will miss like 8 to 10.
But and then the other factor of it is how the Saints use him. So I mean, I get why he's injured because you use him at a ridiculous rate. So you say Mike Thomas, him, Lattimore's probably going to get you a good bang for his buck because he's a top 10 corner. So between those three, and then I would do the nice thing and ask DeMario Davis and Cam Jordan, like, hey, do you guys want to retire here or do you guys want to, get a chance to go chase a ring?
Okay.
That defense is the reason why they even were playing good these last couple of years.
Now, the thing is, though, like 60% of head coaches that get hired usually fail within like the first 2 to 3 years. Like, if we really being honest about it, like, how many tries do you think it takes the Saints to go from Sean Payton to another guy that can actually successfully rebuild this team, get them competitive to where they are again? Like, it's kind of hard to get that dude.
I think it might sound crazy, but if you look at how I said and having a yard sale, I think it'd take 1, maybe 2 dudes. You get a good head coach in there, and then if it doesn't work with him, but maybe he's the dude that helps you get rid of the pieces, and then that second dude, because there's no quarterback, right? So you already have an issue there. You don't.
Jameis Winston was kind of nice at the beginning of this season.
He's nice if you would have kept Sean Payton. And I'm not saying James is bad, but Mike Thomas ain't gonna be there next year. We already know Mike, he definitely don't want to be there. So you count that as one domino that's probably out the door. Boom.
But he ain't played this season at all.
Yeah, he ain't played, and then he had discrepancies with how everything was handled with everything. So you could tell he probably ain't coming back. So there's that. Then who James is throwing the ball to. The weapons that we just saw this past year, I'm gonna let you know it ain't gonna work.
That's tough. That is tough. All right. You're right. Let's keep it moving here. Okay, is Green Bay about to rebuild? Just run or pass?
Run, but I would say no. Long answer short. Aaron leaves, no. Devontae Adams leaves. They don't. They're still okay. They have a good team. That's the thing. They have a good team.
Okay. So you're of the mind that you think Rodgers is out of there?
I mean, whether he retires or he leaves, I mean, I think so. And it seems to me if he retires, he probably might just walk away.
Yeah, that'd be kind of sad, but I feel like he's playing at such a high level most of the time that, like,
do you really trust him to go somewhere else and like have to get a chemistry with new people? Like, like Devontae's not gonna be able to follow him right away. The Packers can literally tag him and hold him hostage for at least 2 years.
No, you're right. Like, I feel like Devontae,
he probably wants to go with him, but let's be honest, is it real?
I think Devontae just wants to, like, yes, he'd prefer to get Rodgers wherever he goes with him, but like,
oh, he's leaving.
He just wants to have like a good quarterback. Like Devontae Adams to the Raiders is something people kept talking about because of his connection with Carr.
Not doing it. Do you trust Carr to go deal in that division?
No, I think Devontae Adams and Carr have a personal relationship, which
he's from Cali too. So I mean, I could see it.
Right.
But if I'm him, I mean, yeah, if you want to play, Carr's not bad. He's in the not that first tier superstars, and not that maybe like that second tier star right there, second and third tier. You could do it, but I mean, I don't really know what you'll get out of it. Like Devontae Adams is kind of in a weird spot because he's gonna want to play with someone that is either A talent like Aaron or just talented?
How many talents like Aaron are they, and can
Two.
they afford that contract?
Two, and they can't because both of them got receivers already. The Chiefs can't do it, and the Bills can't do it. So nixed on those two options.
I look. Let's talk about OT because OT was a hot topic of conversation, right? All right. Are you of the mind that the OT rules in the NFL need to be changed?
No, I'm in the mind of how they go about deciding who gets the ball needs to be changed. You want me to throw that proposal out to you?
Go ahead. Let's hear it.
So it's a coin toss. It's 50-50. Old thing. People have been doing it forever, right? I think we need to do something where each team really gets a chance to get the ball, right? So what I would do is I'd put your kicker at the 50-yard line and my kicker at the 50-yard line. You don't have to put the defenses out there. You can if you want to. If the NFL is like, no, let's put the defense out there. You don't have to. Put the kickers out there, put a little holder, or put a placeholder for it. Kick it. Whoever makes it gets the ball. So
What
say
happens if they both make it?
would they both make it, go back 5 yards. They both make it again, go back another 5.
What do you do if they both miss?
They both missed.
We get to like 60, or like, because like you could get a situation like, let's say
Justin Tucker and old boy on the Bengals are kicking it off.
Yes, yeah, which is likely considering they play each other twice a year.
I don't think
you get to the 60 and they both hit it. You get to the 65 and they both miss.
That Tuck's not missing 65. This has been
66 is his record, isn't it?
Yeah,
so he can miss 65.
He smoked 80 in practice, bro. I don't think he's missing.
Okay, but we put the defenses out there.
Yeah, if you put the defenses out there, it's going to change the dynamic.
I think you always have to put the defenses out there because you want to incentivize special teams. Like if you're a special team that gets a block, if you get a block, you automatically get the ball
right there.
Yeah, and then you get to take it 90% of the time. You win if you get the ball. So like you want to incentivize great special teams play. So you put the defenses out there. So at 65, they both miss. What do you do?
I think if say you get some weird scenario, right, where at 65 you keep going back and they miss, or maybe they both miss at 50.
There are some kickers that
are some kickers that are going to miss at 50. If they both miss at 50, then you flip the coin. I'm cool.
Flip the coin.
I think that's 100% fair at that point. Like I'm not a fan of the 50-50 like the coin toss. I even hate it on Madden. I'm like, God damn it. Because in overtime, you get the ball, bro. It's a wrap. You just gotta either milk the clock or just go down the field real strategically slow, and you're there. So I think. What's up?
No, I'm with you because I don't mind that proposal, but I actually felt like they should just give us the full overtime quarter. Like it's like 5 minutes of regulation, isn't it?
Nah,
or is it 10?
I think it's 10.
10. You give us the full 10 minutes, and if the full 10 minutes ends in a tie, then you go to the kickoff.
So you're saying it's a 10-minute period. So you're saying if it goes to a tie, then you have the kickoff at the end.
Yeah, and the kickoff just decides the game.
But what they both miss, like you're saying, you can't coin flip that at the end. Like you know what I'm saying?
It's a tie. Then we actually get a tie
in the playoffs. You get what I'm saying? Like that works for the regular season. Who advances in the playoffs?
What do you do in the playoffs at the end of the 10-minute session if they're tied? Do we go to double OT?
No, I think.
Oh well, because
that's the thing the NFL is trying to avoid. They don't want these dudes out there. You got to figure you're out there too long. Dudes get banged up. Like imagine the Niners, right?
Yeah, but Lions Steelers is what I'm talking about. Lions Steelers, they ended the regulation period
tied, and then
still tied. What happened?
They just got tied. They both got.
What do you do in the playoffs?
You can't do it. That's the thing.
So what would they
do in the playoffs?
Like theoretically, like we've seen it happen in the game. So theoretically, it's possible to happen at the end of those 10. At the end of that 10 minutes.
I think they're just they're setting it up for like they have more hopes in the guys during the playoffs to not end in a tie. Like you guys will not end. There's no way you guys will end in a tie. Like maybe, and that's a good question. Like, do they have a backup plan in place? But then it's the NFL set it up for whoever scores first. That's why imagine if KC and the Bills, it would have been that 10-minute period. Neither one of them are stopping each other from scoring. So all those dudes are going to be gassed out, exhausted, have a short week, go have to play Cincinnati, and maybe they probably both realistically beat Cincy, but they just played an OT and they're gassed, and now they're out there like, ugh. So I get why I get
Maybe
why.
you shorten the period then if you do that. Don't make it a full 10.
Nah, I think I like how the NFL has it in the aspect of whoever scores first, it's a wrap, field goal. The other team gets a chance to drive down the field. But I think you got to change the flip the coin. I think that's the easy.
Okay.
If you change that,
Okay.
it's because then you're putting pressure on your kicker. Your kicker can't be out there bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, great teams frequently, your kicker just can't be out there bullshit.
So tell that to Mac. What's his Max Crosby, the
The
Packers.
Packers kicker?
Yeah, but he was
Yo,
bullshit.
that wasn't even on him. Like the snap was fucked up.
No, I'm not talking about the punt. I'm talking about his kickoffs throughout the year.
He missed a couple. Like that's the thing though. Sometimes you have a down year, but Crosby is like goaded with the leg. The way that he's gotten Aaron Rodgers so many wins with that thing.
Yeah,
Like in
it's
fact, there was a time where end of the game, Aaron Rodgers ran down Dak Prescott in 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 Jerry World. Like Crosby hits the game winner, and they're like, "How do you do it?" He's like, "Well, you just got a kicker like Crosby over there, and it's all right." Like same thing that Joey B just did, and
not.
you stick with that. Usually, I feel like you should stick if the kicker is that good. You stick with them through a down year, like Crosby just had.
I think Crosby's just older now at this point, though.
That's what they said
Like,
about Robbie Gold in Chicago. What did Robbie Gold just do?
yeah, Robbie Gold's what 37 now too.
That's what I'm saying. Kickers, their lifespan is so much longer if they are taking care of themselves and doing what they need to do. Like Robbie had a down year. We let go of him, then we double doinked.
A double doing on haunt the Bears. That's crazy.
I'm just saying, like you stick with a great kicker through a down year. I think the Patriots almost never do that, but they don't give a fuck about none of them. That's just the Patriot way. All right, last thing we're gonna talk about here. All right, so MVP race has been it sounded real solid at first in the NBA. They were like, "Oh, it's Steph." DeMar's up there. Who was the third person that people were kind of on? Jokic. I think Jokic's narrative hasn't really changed much. Like his team is still doing well. He's still everything about Jokic's case has stayed the same, but his team is still the sixth in the West, maybe fifth now. But it stayed the same. But Steph went on a massive slide. He's no longer in the conversation.
He took a dive.
The Bulls are kind of free falling because of injuries. We are just the most injured team in the NBA, honestly. I strongly believe that. But that's just by minutes of the people could have played. Anyway, Joel Embiid has kind of been a little under the radar for MVP considerations, considering not just what he's doing without Ben Simmons, but what he's doing with the Sixers not being able to spend that much of their cap space.
I mean, it is crazy, but I'm one of those people that I can't really count the MVP of the league yet until it's after All-Star break. Then I got a real clean cut. I'm like, all right, this is who's going to be, because you just said Steph took a slope, right? What if Steph just insanely picks it up from here through All-Star break and he just goes on an insane tear, right? What if Bron keeps he's like, you know what, fuck it, the Lakers are doing whatever. I'm going to just get my points and be hot.
I think they have to be real hot for Bron to get in the conversation, considering the and that's the Lakers would have to be real hot.
That's not no shift on Joel. At this point, yeah, he probably definitely get it. I don't, he probably DeMar would be another one if DeMar was healthy and wasn't nicked up, because I think he just got nicked up too.
I think he's sitting for rest, not because he's hurt, but that's because we are overworking our stars like DeMar, because we had no Javonte Green, DJJ, Alex Caruso came back, got hurt 2 games later, had no Zach LaVine got hurt, had no Patrick Williams from Get, similar to kind of, we're trying to avoid the situation that we were just talking about that happened in Brooklyn with KD being overplayed, playing all those minutes. DeMar is just sitting for rest, not for injury.
Yeah, so you put him up there. We got Joel. I don't know exactly what Giannis's numbers look like. I'm pretty sure the Deer's out there still having a good year.
Yo, I feel like Giannis is a little bit just fatigue.
He could be. I mean, it's a long, bro. I always been on the fence with 82 games is too long to have these dudes play. Like 82, you got the dudes that play in the summer when the Olympics come around.
No, like voter fatigue. Voter fatigue.
Oh, voter
Like,
fatigue. Oh, I'm
think
talking
about it.
about
MVP, MVP, Finals MVP, MVP, DPOY in same year. Similar to like why LeBron couldn't win like 6 in a row, or like Jordan couldn't win all of them in a row. You know what I mean? Like
I don't.
people
I
just
think.
want to vote for somebody new.
I think people like him too much. I think he's too likable. Like I
Hmm?
feel like with Jordan, it was like, all right, he's an asshole. With Braun, people just didn't like Braun, which I thought was strange. Like, hey, I don't like him. His game speaks for itself, but hey, I don't like him. And uh with Deer, you see it. Just like I think people love his story of how it progressed and what he became, and people don't like shy away from him at all. Regardless, they're like, yo, no, he's the defensive player of the year, or he's the MVP. Blah blah blah. Like I feel like he's just gonna keep getting those votes, and like rightfully so, honestly.
Yo, okay, but here's my case for Joel Embiid, because I think we are sleeping on Joel Embiid a little bit. He's averaging about 32 points, 12 rebounds, and 5 assists on 50% shooting from the floor and 38% shooting from 3-point.
I mean, I know it's a regular season award, so I can't really shit on too much for the playoffs. But this man got to get to the finals because he's so dominant, bro. He is dominant. His numbers,
That's the Ben Simmons issue.
bro, it's so crazy. Like I think about it, like if Kawhi didn't get him out in that corner shot, like they got like this weird Aaron Rodgers thing going on. Like, why are you not in the finals? Like,
I don't think they do. I think we kind of saw what happened. Like Kawhi got them with a last second shot, sent them packing. They were a relatively younger team when it came to
they were not.
playoff success. When
They
it
had
came to playoff success.
that team was set up too, and you gutted like you shipped Jimmy out. You got Jimmy in Miami now.
Jimmy wanted to go. Like that's another sign and trade situation. The Sixers took Josh Richardson because it was like, oh, it's Josh Richardson or lose Jimmy Butler for nothing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why did Jimmy? What was the reason that Jimmy actually wanted to go though?
Well, Jimmy wanted to go because he thought like the organization was just poorly ran and put together, and like, but we found all about that stuff. Then Brown gets fired. They get a new GM a couple years later. Like they reset, but like that was an organizational issue, right?
I think Jimmy been 2-0 on all his stops of this is bullshit. Like the Minnesota, hey, y'all are playing like ass, and you need to take it serious. And then you see it in Philly. Oh, the ownership is fucked up here.
And just the team was not really well ran.
Yeah.
And Jimmy right about that. But like that's a thing. And similar to like the thing here is they then flipped Josh Richardson for Seth Curry, and that was a fantastic move. That's what I'm saying. You sign and trade, even if you're not going to keep that guy, you just need to be able to leverage that guy for a player that you need or fits better. And your alternative is losing a superstar for nothing.
I think they need. I think they need. It's not Joel Embiid's fault at why they haven't gotten over the hump. Even though that, like at times it could be. He definitely has the case for MVP this year. Right now, you could probably definitely give him to him. I don't know what his numbers look like compared to Giannis, but if his numbers are better than Giannis and Joe, then yes, give it to him. Because everybody else, we said, kind of took a little bit of dive. But if you look at it, if I'm the Sixers or if I'm Joel, I'm like, bro, y'all got to trade Tobias Harris because I feel like he escapes all the blame and it just gets past the Ben.
But like he escapes the blame because we don't expect Tobias Harris. We don't have those expectations of Tobias Harris.
Well, y'all need to get your money back if you don't have them expectations.
No, like the Sixers should, right? But the like media people, just basketball fans in general, we see Tobias Harris. We don't have those same expectations that we have of like a Ben Simmons. Like Ben Simmons was like a top 3 draft pick, right? Like his expectations in our mind are just set differently.
I mean, yeah, I get that, but Tobias Harris ain't no bum, and he's been underperforming. I can't do it. If I'm Philly, hey, who wants Tobias, and what can you give me?
I mean, you heard them try to package Ben and Tobias together. Like
that's why they should package them separately because you still got Seth with Embiid, right? And then they got Maxey, so you got somebody else. If you can get like, say for Tobias, you can get a couple good role players. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe I don't know who would trade you for him. Maybe the Warriors would be like, "Hey, we'll send you somebody because it'd be another good wing to have."
They don't want that
Yeah,
money. He's too expensive.
but
The
I'm saying like
Warriors are paying 3 dudes massive money. Really
maybe
4.
maybe Memphis is like, okay, well, Tobias with Morant, like maybe you find a place where somebody needs him. I'm not saying they need him, but
The issue is how much he cost. Memphis has to start paying all their young guys soon.
yeah, maybe you skip on paying somebody.
For Tobias Harris, the underperformer.
That's true. I'm just saying.
Tobias Harris has only been good under Doc Rivers.
I'm saying an aspect for Philly to unload him, not making sense
No,
for another team, but for
yeah,
Philly to just get him up out of there, I got to do it. Him and
yeah,
Ben got to go.
yeah. I mean, Ben trying to go.
Oh, Ben want to go.
Ben trying to go. All right,
Ben,
look. Let's keep it moving and talk about the division round of the NFL playoffs. It just happened, right? Recap for the picks. I went 3-1 against the spread this week. Look, honestly, shock of the week for a lot of people was that Niners win, and I was shocked too because I expect the Packers to win that game, but just like not for the Niners to lose by 6 points or more. I was wrong about the Titans. I believe that Derrick Henry was healthy enough to break off the big runs and completely control the game. I fell for the hype. I was fooled. I will try to do better. look, that's just the
hey,
facts.
I don't think it's King Henry's fault. I think you're seeing a lot of these teams this year, even last year. You saw it. They're trying to rush these dudes back too quick, or like trying to get them to play, and they really shouldn't be out there. Like, yeah, I get why you want them out there. Maybe you can power through Cincy, and then boom, we're in the championship dance. But I'm not doing that. Like, you see it way too much. It's looking ridiculous, honestly. Now, like if someone's done for the year, let them be done for the year.
Yeah, but like Cam Akers on the flip side of that. Torres ACL is supposed to be done for the year. Now he out here.
Bro, Cam Akers carry less weight than Derrick Henry.
I agree.
Those
I
big
agree.
dudes,
But it's
like
also not an ACL versus like I
a
fractured my
bone.
foot. ACL was way worse.
Yeah, but you got those big dudes like Bakhtiari and Ronnie Stanley for the Ravens. Like they haven't been able to come back like everybody else. Like Stanley
Mhm.
played for 3 games. He's like, hey, like this, I can't do this right now.
No, I'm with you. I'm not going to say it's Henry's fault. I'm more trying to say if he wasn't that Derrick Henry of like the beginning of the season, the last season before, the Titans were never going to win that game, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah,
Like,
you could.
it's not like, yo, you're the reason why we lost, but like you being at your peak play was the only
What we
way we
need.
could win.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
you could see it. It was a bother for him because the way he plants on a cutback. So when he's going one way in the line, you see the line pull right. He just couldn't plant that foot to go. Like it just looked like, and you saw dudes catching him that really would never catch him. Like that weird speed he just hits, just pumping.
Yeah.
Oh, he's gone, bro. Nobody's catching him. He just couldn't get to that gear. Like he was trying to get to it, and then by the time he was about to hit it, someone hit him.
Yeah.
But
That Chiefs Bills, one of the best games I've seen in a
oh,
while. Ridiculous.
this was crazy.
Absolutely ridiculous. Obviously, Rams, I knew they were going to win that game. I told y'all from get they were going to win that game. Tampa Bay just too hurt, could not compete. I said they were going to win that game before the playoffs started. I told y'all that was the matchup and that the Rams would win. So let's push on into the conference finals, and we are going to start with the NFC because the last time you were on this podcast, Marquise, we were going into week 18 with this very matchup, 49ers versus the Rams, and I believed in the Rams. I was like, the Rams can do it.
Oh
Like
yeah,
they're tired of getting their shit pushed in. You were like, look, I think you went, has Sean McVay
he's 6-0.
ever beat
No, he hasn't.
Kyle Shanahan? He's 0-6.
Yeah, he's 0-6. Kyle 6 and bro. That's demoralizing, bro. Like,
Yes. And you took the Niners. You were right. I have come here again to take the Los Angeles Rams plus 3.5 to win this game. And I'm going to double down on my original take. At this point, look, Sean McVay is playing for his soul as much as he is playing for a berth to the Super Bowl. Like, if you can't win this and he gets you again, bro, you just might as well wrap it up. Like,
I got news for you. George Kittle and Debo Samuel said they're good to go for Sunday, right? And then
Yes, indeed.
if what's his name? Trent Williams is good to go. I'm taking the Niners 100% because the Rams defense is built to stop the pass. Guess what the Niners will win a game without doing? Passing the ball. They'll literally run the ball and just be like, hey, you can't stop it. And our defensive line is going to get to your quarterback. Nick Bosa. I say the keys for the Niners would be Jimmy G not getting any turnovers, and he has to throw the ball at least 15 times, but 6 big throws. Yes, I did. I remember I took back the Jimmy G praise I gave him. But I'm saying the key for this win, they have to be healthy. Jimmy G has to be scotch-free, turnover-free, big throws, maybe like 150 yards, like 150, 200 yards. Boom. With 2 tubs or a tub, that's good. And
Did you say 200 or 250?
I said 150 to 200. He not throwing for 250 against that defense.
He might not throw for 200. Like 200 is a aggressive.
I'm saying 150 to 200. If he can get in that window and have a tub and no turnovers, he's good. Like, because Debo Samuels is a matchup nightmare. Like, even with Ramsey, like, he just does so much that Ramsey's like, damn, why are you doing all this? Like, I can follow you this way, over here. Like that. George Kittle's a mismatch on that Rams defense. There's no one that can stick with him. I know Eric Weddle's back, but congratulations. We know why he's been sitting for 2 years, because he's not Eric Weddle of prime time.
He played all right against Tampa Bay.
He played all right.
He wasn't out there getting cooked. That's all I'm going to say.
Tampa should have been exploiting the Gronk matchup a little bit more.
Yeah. Look, I'm with you. Like, I get it. I just really believe the Rams are due. Like, the Rams are no slouches. I don't think the 49ers have the secondary to keep up with, like, OBJ, Cooper Kupp, and Van Jefferson.
They haven't the last 5 times.
OBJ wasn't there the last 6 times. He's only there one of those times.
Well, they had Robert Woods.
He had just got – Robert Woods is no slouch. Robert Woods is very talented. Robert Woods is no Odell Beckham Jr. Be honest.
I'm going to be honest. He's not Odell, but he is not no bum. So for the Niners who don't have any corners, he is good enough to cook that defense.
He's not Odell. That's all I'm saying. He is not Odell.
You're going to pair him with the Triple Crown and Tyler Higbee. Them 3 are good enough to cook the Niners secondary, because the Niners essentially just have 2 safeties, because Barrett, their corner, is injured for like he's always is.
Yes. I'm just saying Odell is the X factor for this game that makes things a lot different. We know what Cooper Kupp can do. Yeah. Like, Cam Akers is also back this time, was not back before. Like, from the last time they played, the Rams are actually a significantly better team now than they were in Week 18.
Can we give Sean McVay some credit for what he did with the Cam Akers situation?
What do you mean? Like the fumbles?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, except for until he fumbled again.
Nah, I gotta give it up to him, because we were talking about how Cam came back and he was supposed to be injured. I think that builds a lot of confidence in your player. Like, that's a good coaching move, like that you live with or you die with. But it's one of those that, like you said, you live or you're gonna die with it. And luckily they didn't have to die with the ship with it. But I think Cam's gonna come out and have a big game. Like,
it was on life support.
Oh, I was watching that game live, bro. And then Cooper fumbled. I was like, what are y'all doing?
So I just think I feel like they might have gotten a little tight because Brady was doing Brady things. Although one of those was just like a really, really good punch out. I think it was Sue.
The second one.
Yeah.
The second
Sue had
one,
a really good punch out.
Cam broke through, and then someone just punched it as he was going.
It was Sue. It was Sue had that. It was really nice. All right, so you got are you taking the Niners on the spread as well? 3.5, or
you got to cover 3.5?
Yeah. Okay, fantastic. We're going to talk AFC. AFC. The Bengals are playing the Chiefs.
Oh God!
All right, the Chiefs are 7-point favorites in this game. I have automatically taken the Bengals +7. Period. I am not saying the Bengals will win this game. I think the Chiefs will win this game, go to the Super Bowl, but the Bengals will cover the 7 points because the Chiefs can't guard these dudes. It's very similar to the Bills game. Like, Josh Allen is amazing, but the last time we saw the Chiefs defense play the Bengals, Joey B torched them alive.
Remember,
like
though,
barbecued them.
he torched them on a comeback because early on it was looking like a Chiefs route in Jungle Land. So
that's worse though.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, it is. But it's nice to see that the Bengals were able to come back, but the Chiefs had already put them away and thought it was it, which is bad on their
But then they went back and forth, and then the Bengals ended up finishing them. Tyra Matthews is the key thing for me here. Like, he's in concussion protocol, right? Unlike a Debo, unlike a George Kittle, they did not practice all week already, right?
Yeah.
He might not be able to go. And at that point, you telling me you trust Daniel Sorensen to handle Jamar Chase over the top for the double, for the help?
Bro, I don't even know why Daniel Sorensen got a job. I can go play safety better than that. I swear to God. But I trust Mahomes is gonna torch that Cincy defense.
I agree.
If you look at it, when I watched Cincy play the Titans, right, the game was real weird in the beginning, right? But it looked like those young dudes, like the lights kind of got to them. Like, damn, like we're here. Like, and you could see like just like little missteps. Like, okay, like, damn, we're in the playoffs. And that's not a knock on them. They're just a young team, like, oh, like we're here. So I feel like if the Chiefs do what they did in the jungle and they get out early, because you got to think another thing is you're playing Arrowhead. That place is going to be rocking. So you got that. If the Chiefs jump out, I don't know if you come back at Arrowhead. So then you have that. And then, like you said, Tyra Matthews is going to be a big thing. But ain't no way you're going to want Chris Jones sacking Joey B 9 times.
Okay, I think the Chiefs, I don't think we'll get to Joey B that much, personally. The Chiefs have Chris Jones, right? But they're
Frank Clark.
That's not as good as the Bengals are this year. The Bengals are the only team that had 3+ players with 8+ sacks. Like, they could just take it's like the mismatches across the line for the Bengals. You can't double one. I mean, for the Titans, you can't like double one guy like you can to Aaron Donald, like you can to Chris Jones, like you can to TJ Watt, and feel like we got it from there. Yeah. The Titans are just like, we got 3 really good dudes. You can double whichever one you want. The other 2 of these dudes got 8 or more this season. Yeah. They're gonna win.
I see it.
So I don't expect it to be as bad on that end, right? However, like, I think the Chiefs will win. I know you think the Chiefs will win, but do you think the Chiefs will cover 7?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so you think it's a blowout?
Not a blowout, but I mean, I can see the Chiefs winning by 10.
10, okay. Okay. I just don't feel like that's the way the Bengals go out. I mean, they go out in a fire, like blaze of glory.
They can go out in a blaze of glory all they want, but I still think the Chiefs probably get up on them and win by 10. I don't think there's anybody on that Cincy defense probably isn't going to sack Mahomes that much. That offensive line has been playing better than what they were. Like Orlando Brown, remember people were like, oh, like the Ravens probably won this trade because he's playing bad early on. He settled in. He's a huge dude, bro. So you got him, Joe Tooney. The rookie is playing. Creed Humphrey's playing out of his mind as a rookie. So you add that up. We saw what the Bills did against Tyreek Hill. Like, oh my God, bro. And they got that, mind you, they got a good. It's weird. There's only certain teams that are constructed to beat the Chiefs. It's the Bills, the Ravens, and the Broncos could. Like, off their defense, not offensively. I'm saying their defense. Like, your defenses, those defenses are constructed to either try to slow down the Chiefs or stop them. You can't really stop them, but you're built on like, hey, maybe we could slow them down. We got playmakers, and it just the Bengals don't got that.
All right, I'm with you. We gonna keep it moving from there.
Y'all is Tony Playboy.
All right. We want there's 9 head coach openings with the addition of the New Orleans Saints. 9.
Good God.
Big 9. And I want to rank the head coach openings in the league. And the easiest way that I think we could start with this one is, who do you think is the worst job?
The Texans.
By far. Okay. We are 100% on the same page. Like, you still got the Deshaun Watson stuff hanging over. So basically, big hole in your cap with no play. What are you trading for? What does it look like? The roster doesn't seem like it has a lot of young, promising talent on it.
Exactly.
All right. So we're on the same page there. Second worst. What do you have with the second worst?
Got to be the Dolphins.
Ooh, I have several teams before the Dolphins.
I feel like, I think Jalen Waddle and Jetski, the tight end, are good. You got Byron Jones, Xavier Howard, who I think Xavier Howard is actually going to be traded this offseason. So you can probably book me on that one. But I don't think those teammates believe in Tua like that. So do you add that? And you're saying Tua has to go beat. They beat the Patriots last year, but he's going to beat Josh Allen.
We beat the Patriots twice.
Yeah, is he? But barely. Like, I think it was a point.
Hey, you swept the Patriots. I don't want to hear it. You swept them. You swept Bill Belichick.
You swept Bill Belichick with a team, right? You can't compete. Tell me Tua gonna go put up 30 points with Josh Allen.
Okay, you might not win your division, but like you could be second.
You can be second.
You went 9-8 this last year.
You can be second and not make the playoffs again like you did this year.
They were third. That's why they didn't make it.
But you didn't make the playoffs. So yeah. Is he going to be the one to catapult you in the playoffs? I don't think so.
Here's what I'll say. I got the Saints. I have this between after the Texans, I'm actually deciding between the Giants and the Saints. Because the Giants are still like 30 plus million over the cap with that bad of a team, right? Saquon is frequently injured. You talk about Tua, let's talk about Daniel Jones.
They brought in Josh Allen's offensive coordinator.
Okay, we'll see what happens, right? So I actually have the Saints at the 8th spot because of their $71 million over the cap, no clear quarterback, Taysom Hill on contract.
Yeah, you could probably put the Saints before the Dolphins, so I could flip that, but the Dolphins are still at the bottom. Like, they're bottom 4 for sure.
They are bottom 4 for sure. You think coaches would rather have the Giants than the Dolphins at this point?
Ooh, that's tough. The Giants got talent that just doesn't perform. So I'd rather go to the Dolphins. Like, granted, Tua ain't get me to the playoffs, but at least like I got Jalen Waddle and some other dudes. Like,
the Dolphins just keep creeping on up.
Well, so we got the Texans for sure.
Texans at 9.
Giants. And then I'm going to Saints.
Giants at 8, Saints at 7.
Yeah, because the Saints thing, we're saying you can dump the cap, right? But in all turn, you can dump a couple pieces that you're paying too much and then maybe flip it for one player, and then maybe you solve your quarterback situation at that point, which is going to be, granted, you're going to lose some key pieces. But say you go to,
they're going to be defensive pieces unless you're letting go of Alvin Kamara.
There's going to be defensive pieces. But say you look at Seattle, you're like, hey, bro, I'll give you Alvin Kamara and Marshawn Lattimore in the first. Let me get Russ. See, I was gonna be like, okay. I bet you they'll be like, okay, right then there, we'll take it.
I don't know if they'll take it, but they might. I don't know, because Seattle has some cap issues as well, and like, who's their quarterback then? Geno Smith?
That's a Seattle problem.
That's what I'm saying. That's Seattle's problem. They're like, yo, so we rolling with Geno Smith now?
Yeah, but maybe if you're the Saints, like, instead of a full rebuild, like we were saying earlier, maybe you could find a quarterback to squeeze out of somewhere. Like, maybe the Raiders are like, hey, we don't want to pay Carr, give us some pieces, and then maybe they take those pieces and get in the Rodgers sweepstakes to get Rodgers and Adams, and then you're like, oh, okay, that's kind of crazy.
Okay, all right. So we got our bottom 4. So actually, I like classify that as tier 3. Like, oh no,
a lot of shit gotta go your way for that tier to work out.
Like, in 2 years, we may be having the same conversation. So next tier goes up, right?
Mm-hmm.
And instead of focusing on the middle, I want to focus on the top. Who do you think is the best option?
Probably the Broncos.
Ooh, I think it's the Vikings.
No, because the defense is god awful, and you're in cap hell.
Well, you're in cap hell as long as you keep Cousins.
You're in cap hell because you pay him, Daniil Hunter, Adam Thielen, Eric Kendricks. You pay a lot of dudes that you probably ain't gonna say bye to.
Thielen is worth the money they pay him.
Oh
when
yeah,
he's on the
Thielen and Kendrick
field.
are worth it. But
Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, as long as you're paying big money and it produces to the level of that money, you're in a good spot. That's talent. You have Dalvin Cook, you have Justin Jefferson, and you have Adam Thielen.
but
Like
Kurt produces, but he just doesn't get you over the hump because the defense has got that bad. So you're kind of you're chained up because you can't do anything with it. I think if you look at the Broncos, like I said, you just need a quarterback. You got weapons.
But it's so much harder to get the quarterback than it is to fix a defense. We watched the Cowboys flip a defense in the offseason.
They flipped the defense in the offseason off of the picks from both that draft and the draft before. Diggs was drafted the year before, and then you picked Micah. So if you can hit, then yes, you are right. But how many people whiff on draft picks?
But you whiff on quarterbacks way more than you whiff on defensive players, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Like, I had the Vikings up there, and I had the Raiders also ahead of the Broncos. This is a roster that just made the playoffs in the AFC West.
And look how that round looked.
Well, look at it. This is a roster that just made the playoffs in the AFC West after losing their number one corner and their number one wide receiver.
Who's their number one corner?
Nate Hobbs. Their corner room is actually quite bad.
Yeah, their number one corner is old man Casey Hayward Jr. He's their number one corner. Nate Hobbs is like third on the depth chart. He too busy waving guns on Instagram.
He was actually having a good season.
He was, but he got caught up.
They had the whole Gruden thing and the Damon Arnett thing. Like, they persevered through so much stuff.
But you know why they persevered? It's because Derek Carr. They need to move the team back to Oakland.
I think the Raiders roster is good, and they have patience with the team. Like, you get into a situation where the ownership has patience. They are doing a GM and coach search simultaneously. You have Derek Carr, who we know is a good quarterback, above average, an above average running back one. You need to get another wide receiver in there, but like, this is a playoff team.
I don't know. That's tough. You're saying that, like, think about what you're saying. That's a playoff team. You got to consider the AFC gauntlet of people that will make the playoffs.
But you have the Broncos over them in the same division, is what I'm saying.
No, I have them over them as a job, not over them as, hey, this is the.
Well, why do you want to take the job?
Because the defense is way better than the Raiders defense.
So then it's about the roster.
Yes, that roster.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. You put the Broncos over them in the same division with the same gauntlet. Like, everything about the AFC and the AFC West applies to both of them. Yeah,
but I'm saying that roster that the Broncos have, I think is better.
I think it is better. I think it is a better roster. But
5 Raiders players I can name that are like dominant, and then after that, I'm like, damn, bro, you ain't got no depth. Like, what are we doing?
I agree. It is by far a better roster, but its deficiency is the hardest position to upgrade.
Yeah.
That's my thing.
Well, I mean, you're right. That is the hardest position to upgrade, but they do have picks. They do have players because they cannot, they wished on the draft. They let you know they can't draft a quarterback. So whatever quarterback they acquire, it's, hey, we got to
That's
trade.
what I'm saying. I think about this list. 9 teams, right? Every single one of these teams, without an extraneous circumstance, the reason why they all have one thing in common: quarterback issues. Vikings, we were talking about Kirk Cousins can't get over the hump. Raiders, extraneous issue, right? Let's just leave it at that. The Bears had the whole Andy Dalton, Justin Fields fiasco.
It's Justin Fields. It's just that they don't have weapons. Like, they're not going to have weapons because little Mac's going to leave. They're going to trade him. Allen Robinson's not staying. Like, I think Justin Fields, that'd be ideal, but that team is going to look so different, and you're just going to have him.
No, I'm with you. I'm saying, like, the reason why all these coaches got fired and they all have one thing in common is a quarterback issue, right? Like, the Jaguars' extraneous issue.
If Brian Leftwich gets that job, if he could get maybe a couple people in free agency, that's going to be an intriguing team because defensively, I feel like they got pieces on the defense.
Right. I'm saying Texans had to start Davis Mills, Giants, Daniel Jones, Dolphins, Tua.
Hey,
like,
Who's the best quarterback in this list of teams? It's definitely David Carr and then probably Kirk
Derek
Cousins.
Carr. That's why I have the Raiders up there, because if you don't got the quarterback, it's very likely you get fired anyway. And that's why I have the Raiders up there in the top 2.
I got you.
That's my thing. The Broncos roster is better. And like, if we were like, oh, you could get Aaron Rodgers and transplant him onto your roster, I'd rather transplant him onto the Broncos than the Raiders. Right? But unless you got that, at least you got Derek Carr.
I mean, at this point, you might. If I'm the Broncos, I might as well call the Vikings for Kellen Mond since they won't fucking use him.
Well, I think the Vikings want to see what he is, and that's why Zimmer got fired, because he started Sean Mannion.
Bro, that shit was stupid. I'm like, bro, this he's nice. I think he's gonna be like maybe not elite, but he's gonna be good in the league.
Okay, then that leaves us with the interesting conversation: Bears Jaguars. Both open positions. Both just came off a rookie season with their quarterback. Which of these positions are better?
People are saying Trevor Lawrence is like had a better year or something than Justin, and I don't
Play
know.
more games.
Played more games, and I don't think he did more with what he has. Like he has more than Justin. Let's be honest, because Allen Robinson's checked out in Chicago. And then all you have is David Montgomery and then Herbert, like Caleb Herbert, the running back.
Khalil Herbert, yeah. But like he lost James Robinson, but ain't do much with him. They lost Travis Etienne very beginning of the season. They lost Laviska Shenault very early on. Like, and Urban Meyer ran a complete dumpster fire. So like like Trevor Lawrence was trying to persist and survive.
I would rather take the
Bears job.
Yeah, because the owner. I'm taking the Bears job.
Same.
The owner for the Jags would make me take any other job.
All right. So my tier, and actually I'm going to switch my tiers a little bit based off this conversation we just had. I have the Raiders at 1, then the Vikings, then the Bears, Broncos, Jaguars. Then tier 3 is like the Dolphins, Saints, Giants, Texans.
I'm going Broncos, Vikes, Raiders, and then whoever else. And then bottom 4 that we had. Who am I missing?
The bottom 4 we were pretty set on, like Dolphins, then Saints, then Giants, then Texans. Like,
yeah.
I feel sorry for you. All right, look, that's where we have things going for ranking the open head coaching positions. We will move on to the final segment of this show.
Let's stop, Playboy.
Welcome to the final segment of the show, the heart of the show, Ballers Bouquets. Too often in the media, people only want to focus on the negative and salacious things athletes do and never want to give them their credit where credit is due. Here, I like to make a change, and this week's Ballers Bouquet goes to TJ Watt for his work with the UPMC Children's Hospital. Now, this is pretty cool because it's a children's hospital with a bunch of kids. Some of them have terminal illnesses, some of them not. But what TJ Watt did was he went to the hospital and just gave some of his time, did a meet and greet, and met with a bunch of the kids. And like, TJ Watt is a hero in the city. So like, these kids, like, come on. Your dad was probably watching TJ Watt break the sack record next to you in the motherfucking room, and he went crazy.
Yeah, I think that's baller, man. That's crazy. I mean, his brother's a stand-up dude, so I wouldn't. I think that family is realistically a good family. You know, they're all their children do good things for the community, so it's dope to see. Shout out to TJ Watt. He's been a pain in my ass with the Ravens. We haven't beat the fucking Steelers in 2 years, mainly because of him. It's crazy, but he definitely is. He's definitely that dude on and off the field for sure.
Facts. And when he did this, he gave all the kids a special edition New Era hat, some books and blankets. And the Steelers are now selling this special edition, specially designed hat on their website for about $5. And you can get this hat for $5, and 100% of the proceeds will go to the Children's Hospital Free Care Fund, which covers just like hospitals are super fucking expensive. We live in America. And especially for like a child needing long-term care. So like it basically covers things that their families cannot afford in medical expenses. So like buying a hat, buying some Steelers gear literally ends up going to helping these kids and their families alleviate the pressure of just American medicine. And that was why TJ Watt got this week's Ballers Bouquet. All right, that is it for episode 68 of the Fly Route podcast. As always, I appreciate each and every single one of our listeners. I want to give a shout out to our guest Marquise from the Cover 4 with the Guys podcast. Shout out the podcast. Let everybody know where they can find you, find y'all's work.
Yeah, you can find us on Twitter, YouTube, Spotify, Google, Apple. We're on Cover 4 with the Guys. You'll find us. We'll be the first ones to pull up. Me and my cousin, we do everything football related, debate it, talk about it, get people on the show. We've had Ant on the show a bunch of times. So be sure to subscribe, check us out, and just let us know how you're feeling about what we got going on.
All right, and I cannot wait to give you all episode 69 next week. Thanks for stopping by. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to drop a like, leave a subscribe so you don't miss any of our content.